Hi, in this video we will be talking about arrays in the Visual Basic. It is little different compared to other languages. So let's try to see what they are and how to define them or declare them, and how to access the elements in the array, elements, values, right? Assign. And we'll also look into how to find the minimum, maximum, which are the traditional algorithms to find in an array, and maybe sort the values, all that. Okay, and so let's get to it. An array is basically a contiguous it is a data structure, and it has a lot of cells and they are contiguous in memory. They are allocated adjacent to each other. Okay, so if this is an array, it has number of cells in it, and these are called the cells, and the index starts always from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the traditional array in all the languages, and for most of the time the array are similar in Visual Basic, except one or two differences. For example, the arrays are defined with parentheses in Visual Basic. Okay, let's say dim, let's say data, and they should be next to each other. And let's say if I declare phi as integer, okay, so this means we are declaring an array of, let's see how many cells we have. In Visual Basic, when you say phi here, whatever number you define within the parenthesis, that is the largest index. All right, that is the largest index. So let's start what the largest index is: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's what it means. It means the largest index in the array is phi, and the index starts from 0. So there are 6 cells in the array, and each cell can hold a value of type integer. So these are the key things that you have to learn. All right, so in other languages we define array using square brackets, whereas in Visual Basic it is the regular parenthesis. All right, so that is the basic definition or declaration of an array. All right, so let's delete it. So there are two types of declarations in Visual Basic. Okay, so let's figure out first dim, say data 1, say 3 as integer. All right, many times you declare like this. This means it's an array that contains 4 cells, right? 4 cells. How do we know it's 4 cells? Index starts from 0, 1, 2, and 3. So as we said, this value within the parenthesis is the largest index. All right, and that's the first basic definition. The second definition is you can declare dim data. You do not mention anything in the parenthesis. You can continue and declaring the array, but this time the compiler will require you to define the values of the array. For example, if you declare the array like this, if you declare like this, it means you are declaring an array, all right, of 4 cells. See, because there are 4 values, and you see you did not mention anything here, all right. So that's the way it should be. Keep it blank. Keep it blank. In the values in the parenthesis should be blank if you are elaborating all the values or you are listing all the values of the array. So the compiler will figure out how many cells are there based on the number of values you input, you list. So in this case, the array, if you just list them out, 8 is 2, 6, 12, and 15. All right. So you only have either this kind of definition where you declare the number of elements, number of cells in the array, and you keep it blank for now. And then of course, once you're done, you can assign values. For example, you can assign values here. In this case, the first case, data 1, 0, say equal to 2. You can do that. Data 2, sorry, that's still 1, right? Still 1 equal to 6. So you are assigning values after the declaration, right? You do this when your number of elements are very small, so I can choose. If you do this, 15. Okay, so there are 2 types of definitions, declarations of an array, and the first type where you can list the value, you can provide the value within the parenthesis, but do not initialize it. All right, do not initialize it. You initialize it after the declaration. You do this way, all right? Or you keep it blank, and you continue to define the type, and then you say equal to, and you list the values. All right, that's another type. You can also list like this too. Let me get another paint. You can define like this too. It won't hurt you, right? You can say dim data Of course, this is incorrect. These two are incorrect. And then this is incorrect because the compiler in this case wouldn't know how much to allocate for you, right? Wrong. It's not a good idea. All right, this is incorrect. This is all incorrect. For example, here I have declared an array as integers, and you see here I did not define a value nor I assigned a values. Okay, nothing is there. So when I do it, it gives here, if you read it out, variable data is used before it has assigned a value. A null reference exception could result at runtime. You see that? So this is a very bad idea to define. All right, we can confirm by running the code. You see that, and you will see that line number 10. Line number 10 is this. So this is incorrect. You had to say some values. All right, now you're okay. So let's go back to it. So this is incorrect, right? This is incorrect. Let's get it up. And the alternate is, you cannot do this either. Data you cannot do this. You cannot do this too. All right, so here explicit initialization is not permitted for arrays declared with explicit bounds. You see that? You cannot do that either. So you only have either this or that. Okay, so that is the key thing. You take it from this video, where we have learned how to define an array. All right, how to initialize an array. We found two ways to declare an array in Visual Basic, the primitive way, and we found what are the things that you should not do in a declaration. All right, okay, so that will end this video on the basic concept behind arrays. Right? Thank you.